Yo, so it's a clip of Stephen A. Smith going viral saying that Nia Long still deserves an apology.
Can I ask all the ladies out there and all the men out there something? What about the sister, the black woman named Nia Long, that was thrown to the wolves by having all of this publicized? Did she deserve that? This beautiful, gorgeous, smart, intelligent, accomplished woman,
Stephen A. trying to shoot his shot, ain't he?
a sensational actress, crossing all lines and barriers.
I mean, he right, but better honey, he about to slide them DMs though.
Even if they're not together, that is the father of her child. If you mention him and another woman, inevitably she's going to come up. How come nobody thought about the sister? How come they just left her out there standing on her own? I will always defend her. I will always defend her on this issue. It was, how could you do that? You didn't have to do it that way. But to have a press conference and put his business, tacitly or otherwise, on Front Street, you didn't think about Nia Long at all. But you thought about the other woman who purportedly was white.
So this part lets you know the rant is about the Boston Celtics and how they handled that when everything unfolded.
And the one woman in this equation who was innocent and victimized was not the woman Ime Udoka was messing around with. It was Nia Long. She was the one screwed over.
Congratulations to Ime Udoka for getting hired at the Houston Rockets. And even though he should have been able to finish what he started with the Boston Celtics, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. But I think most people saw this clip and then assumed that Stephen A. was talking to Ime Udoka because of the recent press conference that he did. But if you listen to the clip, you can clearly hear that he's talking directly to the Boston Celtics about how they handled the situation and made a debacle out of it and then drug Nia Long in the dirt along with that whole situation. You know what I'm saying? And I totally agree what he was saying there, talking to the Celtics. Now, two things can be right. Because we didn't hear this long-form podcast because most of us is not about to pay to hear Stephen A. Smith talk for 2 hours. I'm not doing it, okay? I'm not doing it. I'm going to stick to the free clips on YouTube. But assuming the rest of the conversation, I don't know where he went with it or where it started, but I would say two things can be right also. Because unfortunately, we didn't get the apology from the Boston Celtics. And they were the main culprit in how they drug Nia Long through the dirt. Like, when everybody wanted to care about the white woman that was getting messed around with and protecting her identity and this, that, and another. Y'all never said nothing to apologize to Nia Long or to try to keep her from catching all of this backlash. You know what I'm saying? And she quietly took this punishment as much as in a classy way as she could. But, like I say, two things can be right, too, because she never really publicly got an apology from Ime Udoka neither. Like, I mean, this is what he said. I want to apologize to our players, fans, and the entire Celtics organization and my family for letting them down, he wrote. I am sorry for putting the team in this difficult situation, and I accept the team's decision out of respect for everyone involved. I will have no further comment. And that's what he did. But, I mean, I feel like most of that statement was directed towards apology towards the Celtics. I said my family in there too, but I don't think it would have hurt him to specifically apologize to Nia Long and be like, yo, I brought you into this, I drug you through this. I'm sorry. As the mother of my child, I hope we can mend our relationship and co-parent the best way we can going forth. But I do want to apologize for the backlash you caught for this. Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's apologized many times behind the scenes directly to her. But I know it feels like sometimes it's like, hey, you publicly embarrass me. Can you publicly apologize to me as well? Now, I don't know, with that said, what his situation is with the Houston Rockets and whether they would have preferred him not to talk about this at all, because they may have well put stipulations in place, because I only saw like a 30-second clip of him addressing the situation at all, and it was very short and to the point. So same could have been with the Celtics, where they could have not wanted him to talk about this, but I figure he could have addressed it on his, I don't know, Instagram or what, you know, at some point. But with all of that said, like, yes, she does deserve an apology, overdue apology from the Boston Celtics, and I feel like she deserves a public apology overdue as well from M.A. Udoka for being innocently drugged in this whole situation. But then I do have to say this as well, and please, black women, Nia Long, don't take this the wrong way, but they were engaged for 7 years. So they may have been kicking it maybe 3 years prior to that. I don't know, right? But they got some years in the game. And as I said in the video I did before, 7-year engagement, at some point you got to, after 2 years or a year or so, you got to be asking yourself, like, we ain't said no date, no location. We ain't decided whether people gonna be eating fish or chicken or not. We just, and then my point in saying that is that at some point you have to wonder if this person that you are pouring all this energy in and taking seriously, if they are doing the same to you. And it clearly seems that M.A. Udoka was not taking Nia Long seriously. I don't know for what reason. I don't know if he just wasn't ready to settle down, if he didn't feel like she was really the woman for him. I don't know the reason. But clearly he was still wanting to be in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And I have to reiterate this too, as much as y'all don't like to hear it. Men of a certain type of, make a certain type of money, a certain type of level in life, they are likely not to settle down with just one woman. Is it right? I'm not saying it is what, I'm just telling you men's nature and how we get out. You know what I'm saying? But I also said in that video, be upfront with that woman about your intentions. Stop lying to the woman about your intentions. Stop stringing her along. Or we engaged. Yeah, we gonna get married. We gonna get married. You know what I'm saying? Or even if a lot of dudes are married and still be living like they single. Like, you can't keep playing like this with these women. You know what I'm saying? Be upfront about your intentions. Stand on what you say. It's a lot of men that are doing this. And Michael Blackston, D-Ray Day. It's a lot of men that are living happily with multiple women. We know Muslims allow 4 wives, but you can't trick 4 women into being married to you. You know what I'm saying? You got to be upfront. They got to know that's what they're getting into. It's something you cannot be cowardly or timid about. But women also, like I'm saying, as far as Nia Long, you cannot allow yourself to really think that 7 years engagement is him really being locked in with you. Like, at some point, you got to realize you're being duped. This goes for men and women. Like men, I've seen countless videos of men that have poured into women. They have given everything. They have spent their everlasting dollar working 2 or 3 jobs on this woman because she is the one. And you just picked the wrong one because she done just ran your credit cards up. She done got every dollar. She done squoze every dollar out of you and got you fervently angry at the world because she wasn't the one. And this is hard to do for men, especially when you start to make it in life and you start to make a couple dollars, because every woman coming at you seems to have ill intent. You know what I'm saying? And I get that too, ladies. On the flip side, you ain't got to have no money. You could just be a pretty woman, dusty, just corns on your feet, walking down the street, no shoes on. It's still going to be 10, 20 dudes coming at you for that box. And you don't know which one to take seriously. But what I would tell you is to close your box off to a lot of dudes. Develop some standards about yourself. Do a vetting process. Yeah, ask some questions about figure out what type of dude this is. Same thing with dudes. Like, we have to ask, and this, like I brought this up in the Steve Harvey video, what women bring to the table. We have to get to know women and figure out what type of women they are, what type of cloth they come from, what type of family they've been raised in. We have to know what type of mannerisms they have to figure out if they are worth pouring into. And women, you have to do the same. You have to vet men. Stop letting everybody in your box. And not saying that this is what Nia Long did, but speaking to women in general, you have to kind of ask more questions and get to know dudes a little better. Keep every dude out your box in order to find out if they really mean to do well by you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to go back to the Nia Long case. If this guy hasn't decided to commit to you, 7-year engagement, come on, at some point you got to snap out of that and believe that he playing with you. You got to go with your gut and know that as much as you are pouring into them and cheering them on, I don't think he means you well at this point. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I still stand on Nia Long deserves an apology, but I do stand on, hey, Nia Long should have also maybe been a little smarter about asking some questions about that 7-year engagement as well. You know what I'm saying? But the Boston Celtics, y'all owe her an overdue apology. Nia Udoka, you owe her an apology if you ain't apologized behind the scenes. Like, try to mend y'all family because y'all still got a son to raise. You know what I'm saying? Still got to cordially parent a child, you know? But this your boy Pete Camp. Let me know what you think, what you don't think. Get at your boy.